So here we are with the first round of 1937 and the qualifying has just started. So we've got 5 drivers on, might be 6 before the end of the session, and this is gonna be a little bit loud, so I'm trying to just talk over it, which might be entered a little louder. So let's start the outlap. This is a non-championship race in South Africa, the Grosvenor circuit near Cape Town. And the whole field is going to drive together, since there is not too many of us in this league. So Voitoret drivers, which are basically the lower class, and the Grand Prix drivers, everyone will be in the same race, however will be classified separately. Currently we have 2 guys for Grand Prix, that is Vittorio Bellasera and Giacomo De Monicello, 2 Italians, and we've got a bunch of other drivers, namely Prix and Voitoret, with Rocco De Laurentiis, Jan Lateschitz and myself, and we're waiting for one more. Hopefully he can make it into this session, which would mean 3 Grand Prix and 3 Voitoret drivers will be busting each other throughout this race. It's gonna be 10 laps, it's a pretty long track, and that's a puff of smoke in front. That's Jan facing backwards. Thank you very much. And letting me by. So as you can see, the track has a fair bit of long straights and then a bunch of slow corners. And it's just a big flat area without any elevation difference. So it's a perfect track to start off the season, fairly easy to drive in as well. While the biggest difficulty are obviously the cars that are not that easy to drive, especially the Grand Prix cars. They can be really hard to... Oh, very well done. Thanks for putting the bill in front of me. The bill that I'm using to find the line. And I explicitly asked everyone to try and keep them in their original positions. But it seems like that didn't work. One who's in front right now, actually quite a bit ahead, just around the final corner. Must be one of the Grand Prix cars. And then it's time to start the flying lap near the final straight and the yellow flag, so somebody did something silly. Here we go, just in front of the pole, that's the start-finish line here. And here we go onto the flying lap. Actually quite a bit of performance difference between these cars, especially between the classes. So Grand Prix cars are obviously the pinnacle of engineering of the time, and namely we've got Daimler-Benz and Auto Union. We also have Alfa Romeo, but nobody was ballsy enough to go for that car as it's quite heavily underpowered compared to the other two, and also pretty dangerous as they're just trying to kill you even in a straight line. It was a very bad accident from this corner, and I've got one of the Grand Prix cars right behind me. Yeah, just go, mate. We're not in the same league here. You'll have to get used to it because they will lap us way to red guys once or twice. And that's a yellow flag, I think. Bella Sera just spun a little bit. Behind. And that's Bella Sera in the gravel or dirt or grass or whatever we have on the side of the track. Seems to be spinning a lot. Laps are certainly going to be interesting on this track with these cars. That's a bad lap.
That was a 3:53.60.
That's actually quite slow. I tried to do another one while there's still time for it. Turns out that the car's handling gets a lot better when I'm driving with a full wristload worth of fuel. Lots of sliding. looks fairly normal from these cars. So I'm only 13.5 seconds off of a Grand Prix car. That's not bad. Thinking how much faster those things are. Nice and easy through this corner. As you can see, we don't really care about cutting, as the track limit is the bales. As it would be very nice if they wouldn't be removed from their positions. Also, that's pretty much every bit of safety measure we're having on the track. We're certainly not overdoing on that part.
That was a
qualifying
3:53.18.
session over. That was an intense start. And the ERAs are a little bit faster than me in a straight line. It's gonna be interesting to see what becomes of this. We either all die or lost a bit of control on the grass. Meanwhile, the two GP cars are already half a track ahead. Somehow I need to hope that the guys ahead are going to make a couple mistakes that I can play to my advantage. This is actually fun.
All right, that was a 4:04.48.
And that's Jan in the gravel. Which means work starts now. I need to find a way to hunt down Don Laudentis here, and he actually messes up the corner exit. Which allows me to get ahead. And then I mess up the corner entry. And now he gets the overtake done. After I went a little bit too optimistically to that corner. This is so much fun. Leave him some space to rejoin. The better exit, and I'm having the better acceleration for now. Very, very close here. Alright, he's moving to my right, so I'm gonna leave space there. That was very risky on my end. And he goes through. Very, very nicely taken move. And then we're side by side into the final corner. I have the advantage there. He's going to get a bit of slipstream, I believe. It's not even a thing. Oh my. It's not a bit of slipstream he's getting. He's getting the entire wind tunnel. And he turns my own move against me. That was a very nice move. Well done, Don Laurentiis. But I take my position back. So in theory I could be faster in this corner than these two. That's gonna be interesting. Wow. That's fast. Very nicely done. And that's my engine gone. Compared to his rival, that's a beautiful drift. Very nicely taken. And here he comes. That's not the last corner. Far from it, in fact. There's still only one lap behind. Yeah, good. So Don Laurentiis is doing very, very well for himself. At this rate, he knows that he's as good as one, so taking it fairly easy from the way it looks. and is going towards the final straight. Rather the back straight. Try to go for a drift, but it's gonna be hard to pull off in the grass. He does it here, so all good. And he comes through and wins the South African GP just about now. Very, very well done. And here comes Monticello through the final corner. I think he's trying to do some donuts over there. And he's the second and the only Voitered that finishes the race. Rocco made it through safely. Both myself and Dion are out of the race with a blown engine, which was entirely to be expected. So, here are the final results. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next one.